Guys, hey, I am Carina Gardner, and I am so excited that you're here to take this class with me. Today we're going to be making, well, I'm going to show you, and you have access to these files. So we're going to be making this skull vintage art, okay? So look how cute that is, you guys. And we don't even put the glass in it. Also, if you want these frames, all of these frames were purchased at Michael's. So you can find that. I pulled the glass out of this particular one because it's 3D. So the other pieces I'd love to show you is, this is my spooky vintage poster. This one is really fun. I did leave the glass in here for this. Also, the frame is from Michael's. This is just vinyl, you guys. So you're cutting out 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, okay? And with those 4 layers, we are going to just use transfer tape to get them into place. So it's simple projects. Your kids could even do it, okay? And then the last piece, which this is the piece we're actually putting together today, is the Happy Halloween. This one is more intricate. We've got a lot of tiny pieces. And so I think this is a really fun one to put together. There are more layers. I'm going to show you those layers, and we're going to talk about cutting with vinyl today, all right? You guys, I love vinyl projects, especially on the Silhouette machine. It cuts so beautifully, like just so beautifully. So I think that you are going to really enjoy cutting with it. We are cutting, I'm going to show you guys some paper pieces that you do need to cut for the skull piece. And then I'm going to show you how to use transfer tape to get everything layered together. Okay, so before we get started, let me just introduce myself. I'm Carina Gardner. I am a designer for the Silhouette store. I love designing for the Silhouette store. You can find tons and tons of 3D designs. You can see behind me, I actually have some of the 3D designs that we have in the store. And banners, villages, you name it, I really love making it. You'll also find a lot of dingbats. I'm really into dingbats. And why? Because those of you who are card makers know how frustrating it is to have, like, you want one design, but you're like, oh, I want to make a series, and you'd like all the illustrations to look the same, right? So I like dingbats for that, because then you get 26 similar illustrations, but you can do a lot of different things and make compositions and collections of things with them. So we're going to start by looking in the design store. I'm going to give you the IDs for these, especially for those of you on the replay. If you are looking for these, you are going to want those, okay? And before we do that, sorry, you guys, one last thing. Next week on Wednesday, Kelly Wayment is going to be on the Silhouette channel here with Michael's. They're doing a premium class, you guys. This is a $20 class. She is going to like deep dive into Silhouette. So I think it's going to be pretty fantastic. And I think it's the same time as this class, and there will be only 50 participants. So I think McKenna is going to put the information into the chat. So if you're looking for it, I'd really recommend going ahead and signing up for that, because the problem is there's only 50 spots. So if you want one of the spots, go grab it. It should be amazing. I know Kelly's been on my podcast. I love Kelly. She is brilliant. She does the most amazing things with the Silhouette machine, okay? All right, you guys, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Hi, everyone. Would you guys in the chat do me a favor and tell me where you are from, okay? So come in, say hello, say where you're from. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, and let's take a look at the Silhouette store. Okay, so when you come into the Silhouette store, what happens is that you will find this page. What I want you to do, if you're looking for these particular designs, just need to go to Artists, and I'm starred because this is my Silhouette store, but Carina Gardner. And if you just scroll down, I'm gonna give you guys the ideas. Here are the 3 pieces that you should be getting today, all right? So let's just get you guys the IDs. So if you are trying to do the spooky filigree pattern, it's called Spooky Owl Poster Art in the Silhouette store. The design ID is 383483, okay? And McKenna's gonna put this in the chat, and it's in the description for those of you who are watching the replay. 383483, okay? That's the spooky owl. If you're looking for the haunted house poster art, you guys, I love this one. And the number of DMs I've already gotten on this one on Instagram is unreal. I just think it is so fun and so pretty. So the ID on it is 383482. Once again, if you are watching the replay, these description IDs will be in, these IDs will be in the description, okay? 383482, okay? And last but not least, if you want to do the skull and flowers poster art with me, that design ID for that is 383481, okay? 383481, and McKenna is putting those in the description for you guys. You can see if you're in the Silhouette shop, you can click on this and you can decide what kind of file type. If you are on a Silhouette machine, you can do the studio. If you're on another machine, you can get the SVG file, okay? And you can see I have lots of dingbats. I love dingbats, you guys. They're so good, okay? All right, you guys, let's talk about cutting vinyl, okay? And we're gonna open up the software, take a peek at it. I've got the Cameo over here right now. You can be on a portrait for this, and actually a portrait works great because the size that we're working with here is really 8.5 by 11. It's a little bit tighter of a size, but it will work on your portrait machine. So don't get nervous. You can get like a smaller, not like the 12-inch, but you can get the 9-inch vinyl and you would be totally fine, okay? So the vinyl I have today, I'm just gonna be doing white, okay? And we're just gonna do a simple cut today. Do you guys know that on the back of this machine, there's a cutter? It's seriously the best. So I actually trimmed this because I had cut it with scissors, and it's really difficult to load this right into the machine, but because it's got a nice clean cut, I'm okay. So if you guys have a chance to use the cutter, do it. It's so great. Okay, so I'm just gonna load this onto the machine. I'm laying it flat. I'm using my hands to make sure it's laid flat. And actually, do you guys see this right here? I actually need to move that. So I'm going to pop up this whole thing and I'm going to push this all the way out because this is a 12-inch situation.
Karina's mic went out.
Oh, sorry guys, we're just checking on my mic.
You're good. We can hear you now.
Oh, we can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that, you guys. So we're gonna lay this out, make sure and change this piece right here so that it fits your machine. So I'm using 12-inch vinyl, and then you're gonna wanna move these pieces over just to even it out. Just helps all the rolling on your machine, okay? So go ahead and close it, and then you're gonna push this arrow button and move it in. Now I was holding it a little too tight, so I'm gonna do it again. I didn't realize it was gonna really just go. Okay, so here we go. Awesome. Now, sometimes if I'm nervous about it, or I'm like, I have a scraggly edge, do you guys know what I'm talking about with vinyl? I go ahead and I use this little piece and I'll push it in just a little bit more. And that helps because your vinyl's curling, right? And so sometimes it can hit the edge of the machine. And if you just push it in a tiny bit more, you'll know that you'll be in good shape. All right? Okay. That's it for actually loading up vinyl. So easy. There is a vinyl holder in here, so you can use that if you want. We're just doing this quick little cut, so it's pretty simple, okay? All right, if you have used vinyl before, hopefully you have, because you've come to this class, or maybe you're like just learning about it, will you tell me in the chat, you guys? Tell me if you are like a long time vinyl user, or if this is your first time using vinyl, okay? Because that actually really helps me know whether this is like, do I need to go over some deep dive things with vinyl with you guys, okay? Okay, so let's just see here if I can open up with you guys this file. And I'm going to share my screen with you. And then we should be good. All right. Here we go. Okay, so we are now in the studio software, the Silhouette Studio software. You guys, this software is so easy to use. I think a lot of people get a little nervous about technology. If you are a Silhouette user, you know that this software really is set up to make your life a little bit easier. So you can see I've opened up my Halloween poster, the haunted house poster here. And let's take a look at all the layers, okay? So you've got this white layer on top, right? So we're gonna pull that aside. We have this purple layer, and this is like the tiny layer, and it kind of, you're going to see how I deal with it because I like keeping it together. We want to cut it all together because it'll make it easier to place on your Halloween poster. Then I'm scooting out here. We have the black layer. That's one single layer. You're going to want to cut that all together, you guys. And if you forget the bats, which I did this time, and I think they're not connected, I'm going to hold down, okay, you guys, the shift key, you guys. If you hold down the shift key, you can get rid of layers or hold on to layers. So I'm holding onto my shift key because I wanted to grab everything, but I just want these 3 bats. So I'm going to pull that across, okay? And then I've got this layer and this layer. Now, couple of things about this bottom layer. This is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So if you don't want to cut this layer out, you can use a piece of paper for your base, not this. Does that make sense? So you can use a piece of paper for this, okay? All right, so we have the white. Do we dare? Like, I'm wondering how long it's going to take us to cut out this web right here. Let's do it. Let's just see how it goes. So to set this up, we need to make sure we've got the correct machine. I'm on a Cameo. We've got our cutting mat is 12 by 12, and the media size is 12 by 12, okay? So we're all set up right here. And then we're gonna hit send, all right? Now, we are working with vinyl, and usually I love doing a test cut, you guys, on vinyl, because sometimes it's a 1, sometimes it's a 2, and sometimes it's even a 3. I'm pretty sure this is a 2 just because I have already used this vinyl. But if you've never done test cutting before, it does a little square with a triangle, and it is awesome. So I recommend test cutting things ahead of time, okay? So we are doing the vinyl glossy settings. If you pull down here, you can see that you have lots and lots of options. And so choose the vinyl that you have. I have vinyl that's glossy. I'm gonna make sure I'm on a 2. My force is a 10, my speed is a 5. I'm passing it through one time, okay? Pretty easy, right? And then we're gonna send it. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna stop my share here. Okay, so we are cutting this out now, and hopefully you can hear me over it. I'm gonna talk to you guys about all the layers in this. So I showed it to you guys, right? We've got this black Halloween layer, okay? And actually, let's move this out of the way. Whoop. You guys, I'm clearly struggling at putting the frame up. Okay, we've got the bats because I didn't connect them, okay? So we have the black Halloween layer and the black bats. I did cut out vinyl for the back piece, but once again, 8.5 by 11 is just fine, okay? Remember those purple pieces? Look how tiny those are. Those are super tiny, and you want to make sure that you cut them all together. Now, it doesn't mean we're gonna put them on all together, but you need to cut them together so you can remember which goes to what, okay? This is what we're cutting right now. It is our spider piece, okay? And I'm gonna show you how to weed it. How many of you love weeding? I love weeding. Weeding is therapeutic. I have a show on or a podcast going, and I love weeding, okay? And then we have our moon pieces, pretty simple. You guys, I went through all of that and we have it already done. Amazing. Okay, all right, we're gonna pull this out and let me grab my scissors and we're just gonna cut this apart. We'll just move these out of the way and I'm gonna show you how I weed this. I'm just gonna move this out of the way for a second. Okay, you guys. So I have my little hook here, okay? And I've got this spider web. I'm actually gonna come pretty far away. Now, depending on what you're trying to pull out, like for example, those diamonds, you wanna be super careful because you've got pieces that are quite small, okay? So you'll see I'm pulling it like this and it looks like, see how some of it wanted to come off because I'm just pulling it from the skinny way. So I just pulled it down. You're just gonna pay attention while you do it and then pull it across. If things are like, there's a lot of sticky, so you can see I can pull my sticky away like this, and it makes it super easy, okay? If you have a ton of sticky though, what I wanna recommend, especially for this one, let me just show you guys. When you're pulling this one out and you start pulling it, it's gonna start trying to take like these curls with you, all these tiny little bits. My recommendation is you pull a little bit and you cut a little bit. Now, why do I say that? Because what happens is the sticky part folds in on itself and it starts to grab all of these little pieces. And so it will ruin your vinyl. So what I recommend is I'll start pulling it and then I'll cut the vinyl away, throw it away. Pull a little bit, cut the vinyl away, throw it away, okay? Does anybody ever use a technique like that? It's like the best, okay? I also want to show you guys, this is Sarah's thing. You guys, this is a lint roller. This is so awesome. So when you are pulling away these little pieces for your spider web or whatever tiny pieces you have, and you're pulling it out, it's just nice to have something sticky to put it to. If you see me in my YouTube videos, on my YouTube channel, I am always holding it on my finger. But I think this is such an amazing way to not have to worry about all these stickies being connected to you. And then I have to throw it away. But look at that. Oh, unless it pops off at you. Okay, we aren't gonna finish pulling this out, but I just wanna show this to you guys. Okay, so you can see how easy that really is to start pulling away all of those pieces. So easy, right? And I highly recommend, if you're gonna be doing this, that you should be watching a really good Halloween show while you're pulling it all out. Okay, you guys, let's put one of these pieces together. Actually, we're gonna do the easiest one first. All right, so we have this amazing skull piece that I've already weeded out. Isn't it beautiful? So this is really easy to weed. It's so easy to cut. It's like a single quick cut, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our vinyl, and I have a pretty big piece here because I'm going to reuse it, you guys. So I have one single piece and we're gonna use it again and again until I mess it up, okay? So I'm just gonna pull that vinyl off, and actually I'm gonna hold on to that vinyl holder. I'm going to place it kind of in the middle here. And if you get a bubble, which is what I just did when I laid it down, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal, okay? So you'll see that I have a bubble in the middle. Do not fix it, you guys. If that happens to you, the whole point of this is to pull it off and put it right onto your paper. So don't stress out if you have a bubble like this, okay? Then you're gonna pull it up. And the problem is my piece is a little too big, but I cut it this big for my other piece, so. I'm using my fingers here to pull it up, but you can use, we have like a squeegee at Silhouette that we like using. All right, all up, okay. And we're just gonna move that black piece into place, and we're just gonna lay this in the center. All right, and then pull up the transfer tape. Guys, I didn't discover transfer tape until like, I swear, 3 years ago. And I was like, where have you been all my life? This stuff is amazing. Can you imagine putting all those little skull teeth in place yourself? Oh, what a nightmare. All right, transfer tape. We're just gonna move that out of the way. And then anytime you have any little pieces sticking up, you're just going to lay them in place, okay? That's it, okay? All right, so cute. right? Okay, so this particular one has flowers. So we're gonna cut out flowers for it that is not vinyl. We're gonna do paper flowers. Why? Because they stick out so much better. So you get that nice like 3D effect with it. I've already made 4 of them. So I'm gonna show you how I put together these. They're so simple, you guys. If I can find the pieces, here we go. So here's my centerpieces, okay? And all you're going to do is, I like hot glue for this, so I really recommend hot glue for it. You're just gonna finger press all of these pieces up, just like that. And you're gonna do it to all of them, and then you're just gonna use hot glue and glue it in the center. So actually, when I had Kelly on my podcast, she said one of her favorite tricks is to actually spray some of her flowers with a little bit of water. I've never done that before, but if any of you have done that trick, let me know in the comments. I would love to know if you've done the spraying flower trick or spraying water trick. And then you're just gonna put those together. Try to off-center those petals a bit. Looks a little bit more organic. And then turn it, and then you have this centerpiece. Now you can just glue this flat. You can try to press up all of your edges if you want. I'm probably just gonna glue it down. And I'm doing yellows and oranges here. I would love to see someone do it in purples or other fun colors. And then you're just going to lay these in place and hot glue them right on, okay? So I'm gonna do that really quick. I always start with the center, you guys, and I try to push it down just a little bit because I want it to look like it really fit. Now, on these edges, you can see this one's kind of popping up. I'm going to push it up a little bit because I want these in nice and tight. So I'm gonna push that up and push that flower up a little bit. You see I'm like kind of finger pressing it as I go. Okay, same on this side. All right, yellow on these edges. You guys, how quick was that? And cutting out these flowers takes barely any time at all. Let me show you guys how cute that is. That's so adorable. And so that's why I recommend not using a glass frame. I just pulled the glass out of the frame that I bought from Michaels for this. And I haven't talked about paper at all, you guys, but Michaels has all of this vinyl. It has huge packs of 65-pound paper. That's my favorite to cut with. And all of this is done with the Michaels. Whoops, maybe I need to glue it on more. It's done with the 65-pound paper that you can buy in the cardstock. And you can find all sorts of amazing color variations. Like I have a pack that's like 5 different grays, or you can get a whole set of just black. So it's really helpful and will make your paper crafting go a lot simpler and easier, okay? All right, so this one's done. Let's talk about putting together this other piece, okay? So this one is slightly trickier. I'm gonna move my computer for this. Just move it out of the way. Okay, so this one is a tiny bit trickier because the pieces are so big, you guys, but I don't want that to make you feel like you can't do it. You just need to do it, and you're gonna get wrinkles, and it's gonna be okay. It's still gonna be an amazing project. So the first thing that's a little tricky is we do have this moon piece that has to go down before the black pieces, and you don't know where it is supposed to go. So what I usually do is I'll kind of lay this black piece on top of this one, just kind of roundabout, and I'll be like, okay, it's supposed to be about here, okay? And so then I kind of lay it into place and I go, okay, this is about where it's gonna go. So you're eyeballing it, you guys. So don't get stressed out, just eyeball it. Know that Carina eyeballs it, and we're just gonna make it work. You don't need transfer tape from this because it is such an easy piece to pull. And I just pull away half right here and then pull it all the way out, and it should lay flat, okay? Then I've got this detail piece for the moon, okay? And I think this is such a nice piece. It just adds dimension and depth. Now, once again, You can pull it off because they're nice big pieces, but if you're nervous about it, I'm just going to use a little bit of this transfer tape that I already used, you guys. You can reuse transfer tape. And I'm gonna pull them off so that they're together. Oh, and I lost one. So don't pull it off as fast as me. Okay. And then we're going to lay this in place, just like that. You see, I'm not really even using that much. I'm just kind of going for it. This is a little piece from the white of our skull. This is the only problem with reusing transfer paper, is that sometimes if you're not careful, you can get pieces from the other bits, okay? So your moon piece is in place. So your next piece to put on is this nice big black piece. Now this is the scariest piece to put on, you guys, but it's gonna be awesome. So I'm reusing this transfer tape. I'm just gonna lay it right on, and hopefully it doesn't do what it did with me. It just like stuck to it really quick. Oh, looks like we're going for it, you guys. So I think this will happen to you too. See how it like scrunches up, you guys? Don't get distressed. Just go ahead and lay it down, because you can have bubbles in this transfer tape. It's okay. You see I have lots of bubbles. That's okay. And if that happens to you, just know it just happened to me, and I've done vinyl for a long time, okay? All right, so I'm just like pressing it all down because I want to make sure and grab it all. And then once you do, you are going to just pull it right up, okay? And by the way, you guys can buy transfer tape by the roll at Michael's.
Carina, this is Felicia. So while you're working on that, there was a quick question.
Sure.
What size frames are you using for the ones you did on the back?
I think this bigger one that I'm working on right now is actually an 11 by 14 opening. So I think the frame itself is a 16 by 20 or an 18 by 20. That's that one. This one is an 11 by 14. This one's an 8.5 by 10. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for asking that, you guys. I should have told you. And they're all at Michael's, and they're not together. So that's what I like about the Michael's frames. Like, I'll just walk down the aisles and be like, that looks good. That looks good. So cute together. Okay. I've got this scrunched up vinyl, you guys, but it's gonna lay beautifully for us. So we're just gonna match it up from our bottom piece. We're just gonna match it up and lay it down. So just starting at the bottom down here, you guys, and we're going to push it down from the bottom piece, okay, and go this way, okay, which is what I should have done with the transfer tape, but holy cow, I didn't. So here we go, guys. Brian, do I have a scrunchie or a, oh, I do, you guys. This whole time I've been using my hands, and look at this. I had one available to me. So just do this to it, okay? And then it's gonna pull up, and it's gonna be awesome. All right, so transfer tape. We're just gonna pull it from the bottom, you guys, okay? Do you see how I'm doing this? I'm holding down this bottom piece, and I'm just pulling as flat as I can. That's really gonna help, because otherwise all these tiny little tree pieces are gonna wanna come up with it. And so I really recommend trying to lay everything and hold it down as flat as you can while you're pulling that transfer tape. Okay, see what I'm doing? And see how that bubble, it just really didn't matter, because the point of it is really just to get the pieces on. And you can see these curls of the A. When you're doing intricate projects like this, you might have to make sure everything lays down and pull it off of the transfer tape. But once you do, it should be good. Or you might have to come around. See how I'm kind of coming around? You might have to come around like this. And it kind of got rid of any of the issues I had. Woo! Okay. Transfer tape off. Black pieces all on except for the bats, okay? Now, here's the problem for the next pieces that I'm doing. This transfer tape is way too big and it's gonna cause some problems. I'm gonna stick it down here on the side next to me, but I'm gonna now cut it up into pieces. Don't you love that I'm using the same piece of transfer tape? It saves you money, you guys. So we're gonna put the bats on. That's quite a small little set here. So I'm just gonna cut off my transfer tape. Just a small section, okay? And I'm going to lay that on the bats. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting I have this awesome tool, okay? And go ahead and pull up those bats and lay them in place. These, it doesn't matter where you put these, okay? I have them situated right here in the middle over the moon, but you can put them anywhere, and you can also change their color, you guys. Like if you wanted to do something funky and fun, you totally could, okay? All right, I'm gonna move these things out of the way. All right, so here is the trickiest little bit. These purple pieces here are tiny, and they're kind of, we have to make sure they fit nicely on the H's to begin with, and then all the other letters. So it's a tiny bit of a problem. I've tried before, you guys, I've tried doing them all at the same time. They never match up. So you want to cut them together so you know that these two right here are the H's. So you're going to cut that in half. Move this to the side so you remember where you are, okay? And if you have any letters sticking up like I do, you just need to flatten them out. That's what I'm going to do right there, okay? And then I am actually going to cut a, well, let's do a bigger piece of vinyl. Okay, so I'm going to cover both of these sets of diamonds. And then pull them off. And then these should be really easy, you guys, to put into place. And if you have trouble, so this is the one thing about reusing transfer tape paper, it loses some of its stickiness. Oh, there we go. So you might have to work a little bit harder to get it to come up. These are small enough pieces though that you are going to want transfer tape. I think it would be pretty frustrating and annoying to have to do it without, to hand piece these. All right, once you get these up, we're going to layer these on the H's. And then we'll be ready to go. Okay, if any of you guys have questions, McKenna, are there any questions in the chat?
It
Or
doesn't look like we have any specific questions about the project, but if we have some that pour in right now, I can ask them to you.
Yeah, so if you guys have questions, there should be a little bit of time at the end. If you guys have questions about either design work, about this particular project, then let me help you, okay? I'd love to answer them. I know that it takes a second, right? I'm doing it in front of you guys and like trying to get them on the little transfer paper is a pain. But when you're doing this project at home, you're gonna be sitting there with a Halloween movie on, making this thing, and it's gonna feel awesome. And you won't be sitting and watching me do this. You'll just do it yourself. Okay, we're gonna layer this in place so you can see how nicely and how easily it's gonna fit on your H's here. So once you get those into place, oh, it's just like, it's magic, you guys, because it's like the kind of thing that makes a project great. Really good projects have lots and lots of small details that make it special. So that's what I really like about these little purple diamonds. So I'm not going to do the rest of them just simply for time's sake, because I want to make sure we have time for questions. But I just want you guys to take a peek at that. So you can see how nicely those diamonds show up onto the H's. Aren't those beautiful? So you're going to do that with the rest of these. And it's actually really, really simple. It just takes some time because you guys saw me trying to get that onto the transfer paper, and you can use clean new transfer paper and it will go much faster. And then the last little bit is to get on this spider web as well, okay? Which I don't know that we have time to do either. So if you guys have questions, I'm gonna actually put this on while you guys give me questions in the chat. Ask me anything you want about silhouette or designing or working with vinyl. I would love to hear it. And I'll just put this on while I talk with you guys. Also, you guys are going to see, since I'm using that same piece of vinyl, you'll notice that I'm only putting it on this one side for this transfer paper. I'm going to actually use 2 pieces of transfer tape and just stick those together. So easy, right? Like, don't buy more transfer paper. You can use it again, okay? Super easy. Kenny, do we have any questions?
Okay, somebody said, is the spooky owl all vinyl also, or vinyl and paper?
It is all vinyl. So I'm going to repeat the question. The spooky owl, which is behind me, and I'll show you guys in just a second, is also all vinyl. So it's a filigree pattern. So it's 2 papers layered on top of each other to get that fantastic, like filigree, like leafy pattern going on in the back. So it's actually super simple. It takes a little while to weed it, okay? So it does take a second to weed it, but once you're done weeding it, it like comes together so quickly. So then the piece on the top is just one white piece for the owl, and then a black piece for the owl, and then the spooky lettering. And I made these probably a month ago for the first time and put them in my house. And they just look so vintagey and so sophisticated, especially as a set of 3, that you'll really like it, okay? So cute, right? I know you guys have a little bit of a glare because I'm using glossy vinyl today. If you want to use matte vinyl, you won't have that glossy glare. And then you would just tear this off, or you could even cut it out and put it in your frame. So let's take a quick look at this. You guys are asking about the spooky owl. Okay, so the spooky owl piece, you can see it has the filigree pattern in the back. This is a layer of, you can use paper, but I used vinyl for the back. And then there's a layer of vinyl that's the filigree pattern. And then it's a single black layer right here, just this cute little border down here, which does take a second to weed out. And then the owl. And then you just layer that white owl on top. It is only 4 layers, you guys, just 4. So it actually comes together really quickly, okay? And then this one, so did you guys know that when you buy something in the store, you very easily can size up or size down? So if you have a Silhouette Pro, or you have a Silhouette Plus, or a portrait, everything's usually made for the Cameo, but if you're in a different size, it's actually super easy to hold down your shift key, select everything, and either size it up or down. So this is actually set up as an 8.5 by 11 in the store, but it is 11 by 14 when I cut it. I just sized the whole thing up to make sure it fit in 11 by 15 frame, so it's in a little bit bigger of a set. So it's super easy and I love it. And I really like these big chunky black frames for this project.
All right, Karina, we have some questions that
Sure.
have come in. So someone asked, somebody asked about the files, and they are being offered for free through the end of the week. So I put those links back in the chat so they can grab those. But
Let me just
then-
repeat that in
yeah.
case people can't hear you guys. So if you are looking for these files and this is like you're watching just in time. So they are going to be available till the end of this week for free. Okay. So make sure and grab those files. And there are links in the chat. McKenna just put them in. So that's the best way to get it. If you are watching this in a replay after the fact, they are available in my Silhouette store at Carina Gardner, and you can grab them there.
Perfect. Okay. And then somebody else asked, what is the white paper the design is sitting on?
The white paper, so because I didn't use, so the question was, what is this white paper, you guys? This is just the vinyl paper. So this is done on a 12 by 12. And so I just pulled apart this, and this is just what's left. It's just sitting on vinyl is the bottom line. And so if I pulled this off, it would be a big sticker behind it, okay?
Okay, and then somebody else asked, where did you get these colors of vinyl? Because they like the variety that you have.
All Michaels. So I walked in the Michaels store and I was like, I want this yellow and this yellow and this cream. So just walk into the Silhouette section of Michaels and go check out all the vinyl options and the transfer tape and like all the little cutting tools. They're all available there, okay?
Okay, and then are they all the same brand of vinyl, or are they different?
They're all different. Most of them are all different types of vinyl. So just go perusing through it.
All right, and then somebody asked, did you cut your own mat or use a pre-cut mat for your frames?
Oh, these are all pre-cut. These all came this way in Michaels. So if you went down the frame aisle, like these were all pre-done. I did not cut them. So I just did the vinyl project part of it, okay?
Okay, and then somebody asked, how many projects like this can you usually do before changing your blade?
You guys, okay. This is the amazing thing about this new blade for Silhouette. I cut 10 things a week, sometimes 20. Like I cut a lot of things, okay? Because I'm a Silhouette designer. I'm putting stuff in the store all the time. And like all these projects you're seeing behind me take a lot of cutting. I have yet to have changed my blade, okay? And I've had the newer machines I've had for about a year and a half at this point. The Pro I've had since November. So the bottom line is it takes a long time for you to have to redo your blade. One thing I will say about the vinyl, when you pull out your blade, double check it. Like I will push this down and I will clean out this area, because sometimes you will get tiny little pieces stuck like that's vinyl, because they've come up because you've done these tiny cuts. So I'll just push this down and I'll just like use my nail to yank out any vinyl pieces. You guys, usually if your machine is doing something weird, it's like something like this. You've got a piece of vinyl in your rotary blade. But I really think you can use your rotary blade for a couple of years, maybe longer. I mean, I'm still using the same one after a year and a half.
Awesome. We don't have any other questions in the chat right now, so maybe we'll just give one more minute to see if any more come in, and then if there aren't any, then we'll just go ahead and end.
Okay. As you guys are asking any final questions, I'm just going to end with, if you are looking for more of my design work, you can find it at carinagardner.com. That's CARINA Gardner.com. And you can find me on Instagram at Carina Gardner or Carina Gardner Papercrafts. That's where I'm showing all of my Silhouette projects. I do a lot of video and educational video on really cutting with your machine. Anything else? Okay, guys, I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad you guys were able to join me. Make sure and jump on my Instagram feed or tag me if you have any pictures. I'd love to reshare. Make sure and check out that premium class by Michaels next week. There are only 50 spots, so you're gonna wanna grab that. And I hope I get to see you soon.